ever thought that I would be creating podcasts.
No, but technology goes that way, and now we have a studio.
Loch Ness Hub Studios, I think we're calling it for today. So yeah, for our viewers at home, just a little bit of background into how the podcast, which is going to be series, has come about. Perhaps you just tell the viewers what's...
Yeah, so idea of this one is Beyond the Loch. So we're going to start off talking to our Highland Heroes. So it's people that are well known in the community, made a difference over the years, have had a career in tourism. They're all going to pop in, chat to us about their lives, their experiences, and we can see how tourism has shaped up to be over the last few years.
Absolutely, and because we are community owned and run here at Loch Ness Hub and Travel, we'll be focusing very much on that as well, and what community tourism looks across the country, across Scotland. I can't tell you, so excited, and I'm so thrilled that our first guest has agreed to be our first Highland Hero.
It's going to be a good one. Kicking it off, starting off strong.
It's a strong contender, I think, in terms of community. This lady is very much up there.
Yes.
A pillar across community, but certainly a leading light in tourism. I think not only in the Highlands but across Scotland, which is a real privilege. So put everyone out of their misery.
Tell us who it is.
Indeed. So our first Highland Hero on Beyond the Loch is going to be Elizabeth Mackintosh of Achmoni Holidays.
Amazing.
I'm not sure how much you know about Elizabeth and Achmoni Holidays.
Tell me more, give me an overview.
So they own chalets up above the village here. Beautiful views looking right down across Loch Ness. One of the few vantage points from the chalets here. But beyond that, Elizabeth volunteered as not only chair but volunteer director on the Highlands and Islands Tourism Awards, now Thistle Awards. So looking back a little bit about the Hub's year and her role in that. So I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah,
amazing list of achievements. Such an amazing career.
Liz, very, very warm welcome here to Beyond the Loch, and our very first Loch Ness Highland Hero. We're going to have a quick chat through today. As you know better than anyone, Loch Ness Hub, the visitor information centre here, was not always community owned, only come into community ownership in recent years. Now obviously I know, but for our viewers across the globe and fans of Loch Ness, you were involved in the initial setup of what was the Tourist Information Centre then run by Visit Scotland. Today we're very much focusing on the community and the volunteers and everything that it takes to run a small community like Drumnadrochit and Glen Urquhart. And we'd love it if you maybe just tell us a little bit about your experience through the years, and perhaps looking back to when the information centre was first set up, and what inspired you and several others in the community to set up the information centre, and how it came about.
Okay, well, it came about, we felt as the local Chamber of Commerce that this area could do with a tourist information centre, and we were told not a chance. In the meantime, the toilets that were beside the old post office, and they were absolutely down and needed replaced. No money to do that. Anyway, we came together, and our wonderful councillor, Margaret Davidson at the time, she worked very hard with the council, and they came up with this fantastic idea that we would get a tourist information centre through Visit Scotland, and that there would also be a Highland Council service point part of it. So the funding eventually all came together, and we had a great time getting it up and running. It produced more people to the area, which meant to help the economy, and also there was employment. And we had the wonderful Charles Kennedy to open it, and I kid you not, it was a great day. It really was.
Yeah, I noticed that just for our viewers at home, Liz has brought in a photo of the day, and and of course Margaret herself and Charles there. It's a brilliant photo. It's interesting to hear you talking about the public toilets. I have to confess I'd actually forgotten about the small public toilets, which is now just short of the bus stop. And the importance of that, and that's something that obviously is continuing into today. The connection between tourism and community, and now of course tourism is helping to fund those public toilets, and a vital facility for everyone. You talked about the very long time, I think you said, for it to get the money. Can you maybe talk a little bit more about that and the challenges that you did face with getting the information centre?
Well, first of all, it was definite no, it's impossible, you will never get a tourist information place in Drumnadrochit.
And was that no from...
Visit Scotland.
Okay.
At that time I was a director with Inverness, Loch Ness and Nairn Tourist Board, because there was area tourist boards originally. I can't remember how many, was it 27? But there was a lot. And Inverness had a tourist information centre, and so did Fort Augustus, and so Drumnadrochit, not a chance at all. But we kept going at it, and as I say, we had a lot of help from several people in Highland Council that were very supportive to us, and eventually, I can't even remember the length of time, Rod Meachie was the chair of the local tourist board at the time, and he was exceedingly supportive to us as well, and as I say, eventually came to fruition, and the wonderful building that's out there, still there, and the toilets. And we always said that tourism is everybody's business, so everybody's involved in it whether they like it or not, and we hope that this would mean that people in the community would welcome visitors to their area and showcase the wonderful place that we live in.
Absolutely. Yeah, just again for our viewers, the Visit Scotland, former owners of the Visitor Information Centre, took a decision to close in 2018, and it was that point that the community decided to take advantage of Scottish Government policy in terms of a community asset transfer. And I think it's interesting that even over that period of time that, as you say, tourism is everyone's business, and the importance of retaining and promoting tourism within the small community. As I think you and probably your good friend Willie Cameron and others at the time came up with the phrase more than a monster, and I think that still applies today.
It does,
We're at the hub here trying to move in a sustainable direction with things like our e-bike hire, and working with local crofters, providing authentic tours, giving people a real sense of community when they come here. Perhaps looking back, Liz, just maybe talking a little bit about how you feel the face of tourism has perhaps changed in the time of Visit Scotland having the centre and now.
Yeah, I certainly think for the better. I think it's wonderful, the tours, the Highland Crew tours. I think it's amazing how that has taken off, and going up to an actual farm and seeing them in situ. It's not like hunting for Nessie, which is they're actually seeing them, and an actual farmer there with them. I think it's wonderful. So I think that has changed. The other good thing is, many years ago, it was very prescriptive. You were ruled by rules, if you like, whereas now it's a little bit more flexible. Well, for instance, with the Highland Crew tours, so from that angle, certainly, I think we've moved on.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of progress made, certainly within the village here, and probably just touching back on your previous point about what you mean by tourism being everyone's business, because I think traditionally people here either went into a trade or they went into university or some more traditional form of employment. But it's important to highlight the number of trades that rely on tourism and all the hotels and the work and everything. And of course, we've just had the Loch Ness Centre, which has had a 1 million refurbishment, which has been another fantastic asset to the community. Looking back again, I know that you have volunteered for many, many roles within the community and an absolute pillar of community. So it's a real honour for me personally and for us in the hub to have you as this first Highland Hero. But of course, one of your other hats, and there, as I say, there are many, was to get involved in what was Highlands and Islands Tourism Awards and is now Highlands and Islands Thistle Awards. Again, for our viewers, perhaps not aware, Loch Ness Up and Travel was very, very fortunate and privileged to be award winners in 3 categories in 2024 Highlands and Islands Thistle Awards, and then went on to double winners in the Nationals. But I'd love it if you maybe tell us a little bit about the history of the awards and your position within them.
Well, first of all, I was more than thrilled at the awards that the Hub got, and you personally got, Russell. It's absolutely wonderful, and you've no idea the delight it gives when local boy done well. So they started many years ago, and again, I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly when, and it was Inverness, Loch Ness and Nairn Tourism Awards, and that was just for the local area, that specific area. And then Highlands of Scotland Tourist Board, the government changed everything, and instead of the however many tourist boards there were, it was reduced, and there was a Highlands of Scotland Tourist Board, which had its office in Strathpeffer, and that took over the whole area. So we had to change then to Highland Tourism Awards. A few years later, HIE, I think it was then, they used to give us some funding for the awards, and they said, we would really like you to take in the islands. And we thought, help, the logistics, you know this.
It's a massive geographic area.
But we were very fortunate that there was a very nice young man from the islands who was a director on High and came to meetings, and so they agreed that he could be a director. So Neil Campbell came on board, and they developed into the Highlands and Islands Tourism Awards. So, and that is what it stayed until last year, was it changed to the Highlands and Islands Thistle Awards.
Thistle Awards,
yeah. And I chaired it for the first 5 years, I think it was. So lots of changes, but it was
Absolutely.
great, and a super board. We had great people working, and you know the benefit of that. Good people working with you. It was a joy, and we had great time, and we worked hard, and we got success in the awards for the people who had applied.
Yeah, you've brought along another little trophy here today. It was issued, I think, to yourself from the Highland Council.
Yeah,
Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
That was way back when the building was just very new, and Graham Strachan, who was an officer with Highland Council, he applied for one of the awards for the TRC, and we went to that awards in Nairn, and it was very nice, a very pleasant evening. We didn't win, but it didn't matter, and Graham presented me with this quaich
Yeah, absolutely.
at the end of the night, just so.
It's lovely and very well polished, I have to say. Yeah, you touched on something there that I think is vitally important. You talked about good people, and we're very, very fortunate to have a great team here in the hub, but behind that sits a board of volunteer directors who have a broad range of skills, but all have an equal passion for community, and I think that's probably what shines through in the Thistle Awards. When you look at the nominees and the finalists, it's really encouraging, I think, to hear the entries were increased almost twofold this year, which is fantastic for tourism and the Highlands. In terms of impact, what impact do you feel that the tourism awards make to perhaps not only the individual businesses but communities as a whole across the Highlands and Islands?
I think it gives everybody something to work towards, to aim towards, and one of the first awards, Inverness, Loch Ness and Nairn awards we had, actually Lewis and Garage was a winner, and they were surprised because Alistair had helped tourists, visitors to the area. Something had happened to their car. It's that long ago, I can't remember the whole story now, but he had gone above and beyond what you would expect, or they were blown away, and they wrote in and sent their application in, and so Lewis and Garage was a part that got the award that night. It was in Inverness. So that's partly everybody's business.
Absolutely.
The other thing that has always been very well done here, and I see it's happening even more so, was involving the school. The wonderful Willie and Fraser Campbell, when they ran Drumnadrochit many years ago, 30 odd years ago be now, they ran Welcome Host, and the young people took over the hotel and ran it.
Fantastic.
And did served lunches, and which was quite amazing, and they got trained in hospitality and how to keep smiling and make coffee, etc. And I think to this day both Willie and Fraser are keen on helping the school and young people to, that hospitality is a great industry to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the amount of work that both Fraser Campbell and Willie Cameron, Mr. Loch Ness himself, do for the community, and it's right to highlight the local employment. It's I know that they have even higher ambitions. They would love to have training schools and everything here, and I think it'd be great if there was some sort of collaboration there with UHI or whatever it could be to make that happen, and why not Drumnadrochit as a base? We've got the history. I love the story about Lewis and Garage. I think it epitomises the Highlands, the people of the Highlands, and that going above and beyond, and that's certainly what the awards are about. Moving on slightly from the awards, perhaps looking at how you feel communities like Drumnadrochit and Glen Urquhart can continue to balance tourism growth with preserving that local culture and hugely important heritage, with community at the forefront of everything we do.
It's hugely important, and one of the things that we used to talk about in the Chamber of Commerce days was having ambassadors around the Glen. Your father would be one that has got great stories, and I can think of various other worthies that have got great local knowledge and historical stories that will die out if nobody tells them. And we used to think it'd be great if there was people just wandering around, maybe the green, and chatting to the visitors, and encouraging the community to be more welcoming. Maybe I think they are pretty welcoming, but to be even more welcoming, when people are visiting and they're strange, and to
absolutely
try and help them and give them a bit of local culture and history.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. We're, as you, again, but perhaps the viewers at home are not aware that I'm heavily involved in Scottish community tourism, which is a network across the country, and really looking at communities and how we can get people to slow down a little bit, and encouraging visitors to perhaps not only realise that they're travelling through a community, but there's much more beyond, and really getting to know the people that are within that, whether it's their host or waiter, waitress in the restaurant, whatever it may be, and really getting that real sense of place. Within Scotland, we always say we would like people to feel like temporary locals for the time that they're with us, and I think that would be great if we could get that happening across the country. Lastly, Liz, one question: what advice would you give to anyone looking to contribute to tourism initiatives in their own community, based on your very short years of experience?
What advice? Just to go for it and enjoy it. It's a wonderful industry to be in, dealing with people and most people when they come on holiday are in great form. They love Scotland. We're a very welcoming community and nation, as you know, and most of the people that come, they always wanted to come to Scotland and they're fulfilling a dream. So just to welcome them, keep smiling, and I can't think of anything more than that.
I think you summed that up beautifully, to be honest with you. I can only say thank you so much for being our first Highland Hero on Beyond the Loch. It's, as I say, an absolute privilege to have you here, and we're certainly looking forward to the next Highland Hero.
So, how do you think that went?
I thought it was fabulous.
It was very good.
Yeah, Elizabeth had some amazing stories.
Yes, good anecdotes, lots of areas covered. I feel like it was a good overview and a really good start to our series.
Absolutely, for our first guest on Beyond the Loch, I think we'll call that a win. Absolutely.
So I was listening as we were talking, and I've taken 3 key thoughts from what you guys chatted about. So the idea of tourism being everyone's business, going above and beyond, particularly in the village, and the idea of why not Drumnadrochit. So what do you think?
Yeah, I'm very well acquainted with the phrase of tourism is everyone's business. It's something that's widely used and widely recognised, even as far as the Scotland 2030 Outlook paper. I know that Mark Crothall uses that phrase on at the signature conference even. So it's just getting people to realise that, I think, is hugely important. The going above and beyond, I thought that really resonated, especially with us here at Loch Ness Hub.
Absolutely.
You know, Grace, my thing is always the visitor, the customer for us. They're always right. And it's our job to make sure that we're giving them the best experience possible that they can when they come to visit the area. I certainly feel that we try hard at that.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that the awards, as we touched on, reflect that. But no, it's trying to find ways to ensure that, certainly from with our own team, that we're really engaging with the visitor, because every visitor is different, and every visitor has different interests, what they would like to see and do, and just being able to tease that out of people so they feel that personal touch. And again, I know you are aware of this, but for us here at the Hub, I very much see us as the face of the community, and it's a real pride and passion for us to be that face, and in some ways a bit of an honour to represent Drumnadrochit and Glen Urquhart here. Lots to think about. As always, when you talk to Elizabeth, you go away with more ideas, I think, than than answers. But yourself?
Yes, good place to start. And to be honest with you, I'm very excited for the next ones.
Absolutely. I thought it was great the way she highlighted the past and the way that all the different industry has evolved, and the way that the different organisations have evolved. Talking about the awards and Lewiston Garage for our viewers at home, I'm not sure how you would explain that to people in America, our local filling station, fuel station.
Exactly.
Having, I think probably for people nowadays, the thought of a business like that winning a tourism award is probably mind blowing. But again, it goes back to that above and beyond story that she told, which is really special.
Yes.
So thank you so much to all of you for tuning in to our first podcast. We'd love it if you join in on our next one. Keep an eye on our socials at Loch Ness Hub, and we'll be announcing there.